Hi, everybody. I'm Willem.
And I'm Tim.
And this is Hear Me Out Pitch. Well, hi. To all of our American viewers, right off the bat, happy Independence Weekend. Oh my gosh, 4th of July in 2 days. So happy 4th of July to everybody. For the rest of the world, we love you. So we're just celebrating our birthdays this week. So anyway, we hope you all enjoy it, especially with the World Cup going on. I know Tim's like, yay, sports ball, but
yay, sports ball.
Sports ball. I'm nervous about us playing Belgium again. We've lost to them the past, every time I've seen us play them, we always. So, anyway, it'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be good. We're in the top 16. It's crazy. And if we beat them, apparently we have a 120 to 1 chance of winning or something like that. That was the odds I was reading today. But still, you know what? It's the hope that gets you. So, anyway, sorry. Enough about that. Hi, everybody, and this is Hear Me Out Pitch. For anyone coming to hear their first time, I'm Willem and Tim, and we are just two lovely nerds who love to talk about stories. We originally started this podcast to talk about movies and awful endings and how we would have changed things, and then slowly it turned into we can come up with fun stories, and we have. But today is not one of those days. Today, we're not even going to talk about a bad adaptation. We're talking about a good adaptation.
A very good movie.
It was a very good movie, which I learned was an adaptation of a book, but which going more into it today, and I'll touch on it briefly, but a lot of people are loving the movie a lot more than the book. So, so it's one of those things where, yes, it has source material, but sometimes you can just do a good adaptation from it. It's the spirit of the thing. So, and it's pretty, I was going to do a pun, but I got a little, I don't know.
Got a little sheepish.
I was going to say I was going to it was a sheer disaster, but I think that's better. So I'm not good with puns. I sent 10 puns to a pun contest to win, but no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave.
That reminds me of another one.
Okay, one more.
There was a guy with a stutter that got arrested a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But his victims are afraid that he's not going to finish his sentence. Anyway. Sheep Detective. If you haven't seen it,
go see it.
Genuinely, go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it there. It's very good.
Are we... spoilers?
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. I will try to put one up at the beginning of this video.
If not, this is your spoiler warning.
Your spoiler warning.
It is a good movie. It is worth watching before listening to us. Because, yeah, there are going to be, I think we're going to have some pretty major spoilers.
There was some pretty, I was shocked. And
if you read the book, you'll already know the story.
And if you haven't, it doesn't matter. It was a good, I want to read the book now.
It's a fantastic movie.
It was really cute.
It is shelf worthy. It is one of those that is worth purchasing.
I went online and I pre-ordered it. Guess when the Blu-ray comes out? It's on Amazon right now. Guess when the Blu-ray comes out?
August.
December 31st. December 31st. So I pre-ordered it just in case they go, okay, maybe you'll get it sooner. So I just did it because whatever. So, because physical media, PlayStation, Sony and everyone else, screw you guys. It's fine. Did you hear about Sony?
Oh, I heard.
Okay. All right. We're not here to talk about that. Buy physical media, everybody. We're starting to turn to Fahrenheit 451 up in here, which is ironic because all of our media is digital. So, but I learned my lesson and it is now all externally hard drived because I'm not going through that mistake again. That was terrible. Anyway, So Sheep Detective.
Just to start.
Out
of 10, what would you give it?
The number that came to my mind at first was 9. It was a 9 out of 10. I dare say that I could probably give this movie a 10 because I think that this is a movie that I keep telling people.
Wild Robot, like this is one that we really, really like.
I really liked it, and if you haven't seen Wild Robot,
go watch that.
Watch that one too. We talked about it. Loved it. It just had a good feel, and I guess it kind of stinks because I was really excited to be like, oh, we're going to talk about an original story, but it's a book adaptation. But that's what we talk about here. And I guess I'll go really quick into the book adaptation. Apparently it was a lot darker. There was more sadness, and there was a more gruesome death for the farmer. They find him in a gruesome state. So they really dolled it up, made it appropriate for a family. I told a coworker to watch it. She watched it with her family last night. They had to pause it when at the arrest, and apparently her children were like, "When can we get it finished? They bugged her all day. We want to finish the movie." So it was good. It was really good. So what would you give it?
I'd give it a 10.
Okay.
It is one of the movies. It is one of the few that I will buy at some point.
When a movie makes me
physical copy.
When a movie makes me laugh, when I feel all the emotions, when I laugh, cry, when I get angry, when I can go through all the emotions, and when I watch it again, and again at work today, I just put it in the background, and while I was filling out all this stuff, I just had Sheep Detective playing, and I was listening to it, and again, I felt all the emotions. I got to a certain part, and I was like, "Dang it, this is a tearjerker." It was really, really good. So. Yeah, and when a movie does that for me, I buy it. So, which I think is more, a lot of people are like, it's amazing. And I know a few YouTubers out there who do movie reviews, like Jeremy Johns. He has Awesome-tacular and then Blu-ray purchase. I like to switch it. I like to say that the highest honor I can give a movie is I'm going to invest my personal money and buy it and proudly put it on my shelf.
I will buy a physical copy.
I want people, when they go through my movies and they go, oh, this movie, I'm like, yeah, it's one of my favorites. There are certain movies that I have had on DVD that I have upgraded to Blu-ray, and I've made sure to have digital so that I can watch it anywhere, anytime, which I need to do for some of my favorite childhood movies because most of them are VHSs. If you don't know what that is, don't talk to me. So
I realize that there might be people listening that don't know what a VHS is.
I don't know. Do you think Cal's gonna know what a VHS is?
He'll know.
Okay,
he will know. I will teach him. That's that old thing.
That's that old thing you use, Dad. Oh,
yeah.
So, I guess. What made this? So I guess we should go with when we first saw the initial trailers. What were your thoughts to see the Sheep Detective trailer?
I didn't even watch any of the trailers. To be honest, I wasn't interested in a movie that was about sheep solving a murder. That just didn't sound interesting to me. It wasn't until I watched, there was a clip on YouTube Shorts, where somebody was like, going back to watch Sheep Detective for the 8th time in a row. And I'm like, okay, is it actually good enough to go watch it that many times in a row? So I did a little bit of research, and people were saying that Sheep Detective is probably the best movie of the year and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And then you brought it up. I was like, okay, let's go watch it.
I had someone who's like, I saw it 3 times in theaters, and I was like, okay.
The only movie I have seen in theaters more than twice is Avengers Endgame. Infinity War.
Infinity War, I saw multiple times.
I watched multiple times in theaters. I don't think I saw Endgame in theaters. Did I?
2019.
I had to have. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it a couple times. I think I saw it twice in theaters. Anyway, Sheep Detective is one that I would go back.
I regret not seeing
not
it.
watching it in theaters.
I regret not watching it in theaters.
We watched the Mandalorian and Grogu movie in theaters, and we passed the signs for Sheep Detective, and we were like, looks like a silly movie. Oh well.
Turns out that this was far better than
It was
Grogu and
far better than Mandalorian.
I don't think we ever talked about that, because we went and saw that in theaters. And I will say, long story short, it wasn't bad. It was just 2 episodes, motion one. It could have been an email. It could have been an episode. I could have watched that streaming.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I liked it.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I was really surprised about Jabba the Hutt's son, but we'll leave that there. We're not here to talk about that. We're talking about sheep. So, but yeah, I was the same boat. I saw the initial thing and I was like, and the thing that got me thinking though, was there was a lot of cast that I was like, really? You had Sir Patrick Stewart himself. You had Professor Xavier himself. You had Hugh Jackman. You had Wolverine there. And I was like, okay. You had, I can't think of her name.
What kind of helped me was Hugh Jackman, because he doesn't take on roles that he doesn't think are worth it.
Yeah.
And this was one that he was like, yeah, we'll do this one. Obviously, because he did it. And so that was part of the reason why I was like, yeah, okay.
And then I did realize, though, it was MGM, which is owned by Amazon, which is almost as rich as Disney at this point. Well, technically. But anyway, we're not. But still, I didn't really think it would be that. I thought it would be cute. I saw the PG and I was like, cute, whatever. I was... Again, when I started hearing people talk about this movie, now the memes that started coming in, like, I didn't think I'd be learning life lessons from sheep. And Disney, that is how you do CGI animals.
Yes.
Except they did Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. They know how to do a good CGI animal.
And that was 20th Century Fox. That was before they were Disney.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I thought they did Narnia.
If I'm wrong...
We gotta do a fact check. Fact check real quick, because my brain hurts. I'm like, really?
Hold on.
Come on.
I guess it was Walt Disney Pictures. Buena Vista Pictures.
Okay. Buena Vista with Disney.
With Disney.
So,
yes.
Tim, just to ruin my day, how old were you when that movie came out?
Oh, crap. I didn't even... Hold on.
He's got to go back.
I have to go back. Narnia movie 1. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe came out in 2005. I was 4.
I was 10. I think I just what month? No, it's fine. It's fine. I take it all back. I take it back. All right. I'm going to assume that I'm going to edit that out. So I'm going to clap here and just be like, so I was right. And it was Disney.
I was wrong.
So, but nowadays, because there's many parts where the sheep look like sheep. They're passable sheep.
Yeah.
But then, like the part with the road and their face, like we're brave. We can do that. And just
yes.
What is that? It's a road. What's it made of? I'll tell you, it's not grass. I'll tell you that much. Like I loved.
Very good movie.
Okay.
Very, very well done. The CGI for the sheep was perfect.
You could tell it was CGI. You could tell. But guess what? The way that they did it with CGI and stuffed animals, basically. And so when they're like petting something or holding something, they were holding something. So I think a few times they might have had real sheep for like brief moments. But yeah, I love those sheep. They were so good. So our initial thoughts were just like, eh. And then slowly we saw people, and it's so funny because we all are like, we want something kind of original or something different, something new. And technically this was new. Even if it was from a book, it was a new story. I've never thought of the Sheep Detective. I never would have thought.
I've never had an idea of, I'm going to have sheep solve a murder.
Or, I mean, we've had, or at least animals that aren't bipedal, like in Because, Zootopia technically would probably count as some mystery, but they're anamorphic. I don't know the fancy words.
I don't know.
You don't know what I'm aiming for. Point is, I was very shocked. So, genuine though, murder mysteries. How are you with murder mysteries? How do you watch a lot of murder mysteries? Because currently, I love.
I have watched some Sherlock Holmes, like the old TV show.
Okay.
I've watched a little bit of that. I'm more of a fantasy guy.
It's true.
That's my thing. Like,
I love a good story. I love a good murder mystery. I've watched a lot of the Murder on the Orient Express. Actually, no, I never got around to that one. But The Glass Onion and Knives Out, love those ones, especially the third one that just came out this year. Wake Up Dead Man. Fantastic. My opinion, I almost did. I might still do a solo, especially after watching this. I was like, I'm going to talk about that movie because I loved it. I love a good murder mystery, and I love when I can't figure it out, when I can't call who did it, or I love when, like with this movie, I had an initial thought. I had a thought, and I was like, well, he's not there, and I was like, nah, whatever, and I let it go. And then later, I was like, I should have stuck with that, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. So I love a good murder mystery, and I love how in this story, especially, I was thinking about, with kids watching this movie and families, they're going, all right, we have means, we have motive. Like, it taught everybody how to do a typical murder mystery story. It was all of the things. The police officers not being that smart, the new person arrives, there's always a will, like everything, like even though they admitted to us, the audience, that yes, this has all of the cliches, we still enjoyed it. Or am I wrong?
No, it was, yeah.
Like, it was really cute because the shepherd, he read to them all their nighttime stories. Like, well, in the nighttime stories, the police officers are silly. This officer, who I think he became my favorite character. There's three. We'll talk about characters next. But I really loved how they let the audience come with them, and it was so cute. And they were sheep, so they're not they don't understand how things are with us. And it was just so cute. It was just so cute how they led us with it, because I honestly was like, I don't know where they're going. Like, I noticed things like the pillowcase with the stain. I was like, what is that? Why is it stained? Whose is that? And I didn't think. So
I saw the clues, but I didn't quite put
I didn't quite put it together.
I'll admit, I called it from the point where, oh, he's been murdered, and I'm like, oh, he did it, obviously.
Yeah.
But how do I prove that? And I stuck with that through the whole movie, and when I was right, I was like, yes, vindication.
I will say that I had an inkling it was him because I never saw him in like any of the trailers. Mm-hmm. So, spoilers. We're going to go into spoilers right now. You ready? All right. You've watched it? You went? All right, welcome back. Good job. Proud of you. If you haven't, this is your last warning.
If you fell asleep trying to count all the sheep, go back and rewatch it.
All right. And it was the daughter. I mean, it was the son. It was the son. It was the adopted twin son. And it was so funny because when the son, when he was acting as a reporter, and the daughter, I forget her name. Chastity was like, no, her name. She changed her name from Chastity to was it Rachel? Rebecca. When Rebecca was like, oh, I have a twin brother who lives in South Africa, and he's gone. He was like, a brother in South Africa? That's insane. And I'm like, he's a little too like. It was a little rude about that, and then he gets dismissed. That's when I was like, held on. He could be answering, and then all of a sudden she's calling him on the phone. I was like, the reporter's not in the room right now. He could be on the phone right now. And then he comes back in. He's like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm like, "You." And I had a feeling, but I don't know. I just got absorbed in the story. So, but it was very well done. Of how I was very shocked. I was like, "Oh," like when the officer was calling everyone, and he's like, "It wasn't Rebecca." And who had the means? And there was $31 million. Wow. And all these, and then also like, how was he able to get it? Who was new? Who was right in front of us? And that's when I was going, oh my gosh, it was the reporter. I was so like, has to be the reporter. I don't see it being anyone else because they were minding their own business. And it's not Rebecca because she's too sweet. Because I just refused because she just seemed so kind. And then I was like, oh, it's a reporter. And then he turns to the reporter and I was like, oh my gosh. So, but I did not see like how he did it, when he did it. I didn't think I don't know. I got absorbed in the story and I loved it.
It was a very good story. Very well done. And I did know, I did call it. I was like, yeah, it's going to be the reporter. He's got something to do with this. And then they revealed that
there's a son.
And I was like, son lives in South Africa. The daughter's here. She's being framed. It's got to be the son. Oh, okay. So the reporter has to be the son.
And then he was out the room, and you were like,
yeah. Well, and then later he just kept showing up and kept doing things and kept
trying to get
pushing Rebecca to be caught and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not like, wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
For him to be the son.
Yeah, they both moved from there. Yeah,
Yeah, and I really liked how things played out with that.
So
I like how Tim went from being an idiot to being the one who's, with the help of the sheep, he's figuring things out on his own.
I am curious because I don't really have characters that share my name. I don't have people that usually share my name. There is Willem Dafoe, plays the Green Goblin. I would love to meet him in person, but technically, Willem isn't even his birth name. He changed it for acting. He was William, so he's a liar. Anyway, me though. But I'm curious, when you hear a character that has the same name and it's a good guy, maybe even a villain, I don't know, but when you have a character that shares your name, does it help you relate to them? Do you try to root for them? Like, does it do something?
I think subconsciously, probably. I'm
not saying you see yourself in the officer, but
there's enough Tims out there that I'm like, oh, it's just my name. It's a
common name.
It's a fairly common name. It's been around since Bible times.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know. I'm able to detach myself from the name consciously, but maybe subconsciously there's a part of me that's like, oh yeah, he shares my name, so I've gotta like try to connect with him or whatever. And I don't know. Like I don't know, with this particular character, I didn't necessarily see myself in this character's shoes. Like I didn't see myself as this character or this character as a version of me. It was just, oh, he's got my same name. Cool.
I was just curious because I was like, because they said Tim a lot. They said Tim, and I'm like, and so what's that like? I don't know. So, all right. Well, since we've already started talking about characters, or I guess before we go talk about characters, is there anything that you want to point out in the story-wise, in the mystery-wise, any particular? Because I want to do characters and then, of course, scenes, and if there are any gripes at the end. But anything story-wise that you were like, I love this story aspect and storytelling sort of way. Like, what was something that, as someone who loves stories, what was something that you were like, I love that they did this?
I gotta say, all the foreshadowing. The key to telling a good story with a mysterious element to it, whether that be a mystery novel, mystery story, or just an adventure where something is hidden from the audience. Foreshadowing is very important. If you take Mistborn, for example, in Mistborn, in literally the first chapter, or one of the first chapters, Kelsier is using allomancy. He's using magic to get something done, and it is technically the first chapter, right? He is burning down the mansion of the Lord, and I'm specifically, I want to draw the attention to the Mist Wraiths.
Yeah.
Right. He's using magic to do all this stuff, and people don't understand allomancy. And another part in the chapter, they mention at night the Mist Wraiths come out, and only a Mistborn would dare go out there and, deal with those monsters. And through the entire series, you're trying to figure out what a Mist Wraith is, and then later on we find out what it is.
You are making me want to dive back into Mistborn again.
Yeah. So. Well, I just finished reading it a couple months ago.
Is that the one that's getting a series, or is it Stormlight?
Both.
Both are getting a thing.
Yeah, both. Mistborn is getting a movie. Stormlight's getting a series.
I just want all of it animated in different styles, and then they'll all combined, because each of their worlds supposed to be. I don't want none of them to be live action. I want Mistborn to look like Arcane, and I want
Mistborn. Now since we're on that topic,
we're doing tangent. Everybody, hold on.
For the Lord Ruler, I want Keanu Reeves. That's who Brandon said he imagined the Lord Ruler looking like.
Okay, well then I definitely want it to be animated, because we can make him even scarier, but then Keanu having his voice come out of it, I think he can do a good job. If anyone here has seen The Matrix, if anyone here has seen John Wick, there are moments where Keanu Reeves truly is something
terrifying,
scary. So anyway, enough about that. That's just my personal opinion. I think they all should be animated in a different thing. And then when each of these go over, it's like a crossover, like when Timmy Turner and Jimmy Neutron had crossovers, they would be animated differently. So that's how I see it. I think it'd be fun, and it would be a little like meta thing, because they're all different universes. So it would be anyway. So I guess we've done everything that we want storytelling wise. Now, the characters. Who were some of your characters, and is there certain scenes, or I would just say your favorite characters? Why? Like top 3.
I'm gonna go top 3 for humans and top 3 for sheep.
Oh.
I'll start with the humans.
Okay.
Number 1 is George, the farmer. The shepherd. The shepherd. Hugh Jackman is just a good actor. He does a very good job. I really, really liked him as P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman. He's a great Wolverine. He's good in everything he's in. I
really need to find a safe version of Logan for you to watch, and because that is one of his best performances.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and he definitely sold it as George. And I don't know, I love the idea of the shepherd caring for the sheep and naming them one by one, and it was just good. It was just good. Number 2 is Rebecca. I really liked her character. We didn't see a lot with her, right? She got arrested and had all of this going on outside that wasn't directly affecting her in the moment. but they would come back to hit her.
She stole every scene that she was in.
But yeah, she was excellent. Especially my favorite scene with Rebecca was when she picks up the winter sheep,
The winter lamb.
the winter lamb. Like it was just super cute, and I loved it. And the last one is Tim, the policeman. He went from being a bumbling idiot who had no idea what he's doing. Right, the most he's ever done is mediate between an argument.
Yeah.
Never really arrested someone. I'm not saying I actually know that that's how it is, but
it was such a small town. They live in such a small town. Nothing ever happens, and he became. I really quick though. All I'll say is, if we're talking about the humans, same three for me. I would switch Rebecca and Tim, but it's very close, just because I see more of Tim than Rebecca. But I also was just very proud of who Tim became. Yeah. And I was very happy.
Being an idiot to being a detective.
Yeah, and very much like he became the hero of the story. He did have some help.
He figured it out partially on his own. He was given the tools and the means to figure it out. But he's the one who drew those conclusions.
He had to, because again, he couldn't talk to these sheep. And it was really cute for him to say, and with some very good friends who are excellent detectives, they helped me solve this. And it was really cute.
Very cute. And And
so sheep.
Yeah. My favorite sheep, my number one is Sebastian. Sebastian was awesome. Bryan Cranston is another one of those actors that I'm like, he's perfect in every role he plays.
He's fabulous. He is he's been dubbing. He's been voice acting for almost as long as he was acting. Like he did there's an anime clip of him in this movie from the 90s, and he is just playing this very relaxed dude. He's like flirting with a girl, and you're like, that's Malcolm's dad? Because if any of you didn't grow up watching Malcolm in the Middle, you really wouldn't believe that this man is the Heisenberg. You wouldn't believe that he is, what villain was he? Oh goodness. But you just can't believe his range. And then you watch him in these roles and you're like, he has I love when his characters yell, or when they are like calming attention. Like even Poe's dad, there's a few scenes in Kung Fu Panda where he's like, especially when Poe like almost dies from Kai, and he's like, we can do this. We used to know how to do this, and we can. And he starts the saving. Yeah, he just does a good job. And Sebastian,
he did a great job.
I don't know if I can pick a favorite out of these characters, because I love the sheep so much.
The sheep. I don't think I have a number one, but Sebastian was the one that came to my mind first.
They are a flock, and they to me are one. I
do have a top three, and it is the main three.
Yeah. Mopple
is
Lily, awesome. And Sebastian. Those are basically the three I'm going to go with. They're the three brave ones.
I like them for different reasons too.
Yeah,
because Sebastian is he's a ram trying to find his way back into the herd. Right, he was a winter lamb once, and he heard over and over that he doesn't belong, and so he went and he joined the circus. And
we'll talk about carnival.
Or the carnival, and he was a dog fighter. Literally, he fought dogs, and George bought him and brought him home. Right, and that was special for its own reason. Like that was we were seeing a character who still had a little bit of character growth to go through, but he'd been saved. Lily, I like Lily because
I think she's my favorite.
She was very clever, and watching Lily try to navigate how to be a sheep in the human world instead of being a sheep in the field was cute and it was fun. And,
to grow out of her own bubble and to experience things.
To go from knowing that it was Rebecca to it couldn't have been Rebecca, had to have been someone else. We just need to figure out who, and recognizing that she was wrong and then fixing it. It was awesome. And then Mopple is there in Dungeons and Dragons. There's a trope where the very powerful mentor ally, i.e. Gandalf, holds back to let the heroes and let everybody else do their thing. And that's kind of how Mopple was. Mopple was the only sheep that wasn't able to forget things at will. So he remembered everything. And so he remembered when other sheep died. He remembered when other bad things happened, and the rest of the flock would just forget that ever happened, that ever occurred. And he held that weight on his shoulders forever, for his whole life. And so he had knowledge that the other sheep didn't. He understood things that the other sheep didn't. And so he was able to help mentor Lily and help her come to realizations that he wasn't able to make on his own. But kind of like Gandalf, because in The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf was told by basically God, the god of that world, to not intervene. He wasn't allowed to, right? Not to his full extent.
There's only like a few things that he had to truly step in, and that was, as someone who's never read the book, doesn't know nothing, the only thing I can think of where it was like, yes, Gandalf, take care of this, was the Balrog, where it was like, oh,
yeah,
take care of that thing.
I mean, that's basically Gandalf fighting the spawn of one of his siblings.
Oh gosh.
Or fighting his sibling. Yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. Mopple had that whole that is the trope. And in Dungeons and Dragons we have a similar thing where, you have a level 20 adventurer who's guiding the party to help them make realizations and help protect them from things that they can't take care of on their own, but also giving them the tools to take care of things on their own, to learn and to grow.
So here is a question that I have been wanting to ask somebody. When did Sebastian give up on forgetting things? Because he was so... because how many times do you think the poor, even the little guy, the little winter lamb, how many times do you think he forgot things and would try to... You don't get to forget things when you constantly have bad things happen. You have to learn. You don't get to... If you're safe, like those sheep, you can just forget things. So I think it's cute. I think that there's a big difference between... I like thinking about Mopple and how he couldn't, but he still took it. And Sebastian, who over the years decided that he would...
It was worth
remembering. So you have like the two different... I don't think Sebastian carried his... Well, that's not true, because he had a lot of
Sebastian
bad things.
had a separate burden that he was carrying.
Yeah, but he... Oh no, I just thought about that because I'm like, how often do you think that Sebastian would forget maybe a certain fight? Maybe he would forget little things. Like, do you ever think, even though he talked as stoic as he did, he definitely would have... I think if I could forget things, I would. Just so I don't know. I just thought about that. Like, how much did Sebastian try to act like I can hold all this, but how often did he go and just lift his burden a little bit, let it go?
Yeah.
Because just like with the little Zora, was that her name? The very curious one. She would always be like, what's the meaning of life? What's everything? Why are we here? And would ask the big questions. She said a line once when Lily was telling them that no, Caleb, the other shepherd, he's not good. he butchers the other lambs and we need to get out of here. And Zora said, I don't know if it was Zora. I don't know if that's her name.
But the curious,
the curious one,
energetic,
and she was like, it's better to forget things so it doesn't hurt. And she left, and they all forgot it, and then they left. And I guess that leads to, I guess we'll just go right into favorite scenes, because one of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite, is the scene right after all the other sheep leave, after Lily tried to get them out of the meadow. After they learn the truth about Caleb's farm, she looks at Mopple and says, I haven't, this isn't the first time I've forgotten things, is it? And Mopple, no. And just my favorite line was, you have just been holding this all alone the whole time. And one of the biggest reasons why I love it so much is, and it's very silly, it's a very silly thing, but I thought it was very poetic that after Sebastian does a very poor job calling God basically a beaver lamb made out of bread that they eat every Sunday, I just thought it was very cute and poetic that Mopple, out of all the sheep, goes, oh, poor God. I just thought it was very cute that a character that is supposed to hold all this weight felt bad for another, and I'll just say character that also was meant to carry a heavy burden. So I just thought it was very cute and very poetic. So I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. So that's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think my favorite scene is probably Lily's vision of George.
Oh, it was so cute.
Like, I don't know. I just...
Because she was about to give up.
She was ready to give up. She was counting down to forget. And then she has this little vision of George, and it was just super cute, where whether she actually saw a vision of George or it was her memory of George talking to her, we don't know. But I like to think it was the memory of George, what he would say to her, and she has these realizations and he's comforting her the way that she comforted him when she was able to determine that he was stuck in his head. Right?
Yeah.
He was able to do the same thing for her. And that was just very, very cute. And that was where she had the realization, I know who it is, and I just need to figure out how to prove it. And then she had the idea and had the Winter Lamb, who also never forgot, help her. My other favorite scene is the very last one, where Rebecca has the book and she's reading to the sheep, and Lily takes the Winter Lamb, names him, and then leads him to the flock. And the grumpy old sheep,
Sir Patrick Stewart,
who had before been the one most against Winter Sheep, lets little George into the flock.
I will say that is probably my only gripe, just because I could have easily seen, because when you said George, because Tim called it. Tim called it like he called it right when right after they arrest Peter. She's holding the Winter Lamb comes up and she's talking with Officer Tim, and Tim leans over and he was like, the Winter Lamb's name is going to be George. And I imagined that Lily was going to cut
me, Tim. I'm
him,
the
Tim.
One who leaned over.
Tim, that Tim.
Not
that Tim.
Tim.
That Tim. That one. The one over there. That guy.
Yeah.
Him. Anyway, Tim was like, oh, he calls it. In my head, I was imagining Lily walk up, because Lily was named after Rebecca's and Peter's mother, who George loved so much. Apparently, we learned that near the end.
And she passed away in childbirth.
Yeah, and I just imagined that Lily was going to walk up with the Winter Lamb to Rebecca when she was reading, and she was going to go, oh, my father, because I thought it would have been so poetic for Rebecca, the new shepherd, to name the lamb. And I could easily imagine her looking at Lily, looking up at the sky and thinking about her mother, and then look down at the winter lamb and say, "Hi, George." And that, to me, would have been the end of it. It's just like with, I think, still a wonderful movie. It's just like with The Wild Robot, just that one line at the very end.
The only thing I would change too, except I would do it a little bit different.
Ooh.
Throughout the movie, Lily would say something, and then a human would say the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have that be how it is. Rebecca has the lamb and is looking at him, and Lily goes, "George."
Mm-hmm.
And then Rebecca says, "George."
Yeah, because Lily always knows what the name is. I mean, Lily always knows because she's the smartest sheep in the world. That's pretty cute too.
Yeah,
I could see that.
That's how I would do it.
A little mix of both. We'll just mix both.
But I will say I didn't mind how it.
I didn't mind it either.
I thought it was fine.
But in my head, it just bugs me because I just imagine Rebecca being like, "Oh, little tiny shadow ball," like something totally different.
Astro Destroyer.
Yeah, like just something totally different. So all the humans are calling her
Buzz Muffin, Destroyer.
Buzz Muffin, just because Rebecca said that she looked that her father looked into every lamb's eyes and named them
their name
and named them one by one.
Yeah.
So it really bugged me that Rebecca didn't name. See, I do like that. I think that would be cute. Like she looks at Lily, and Lily, who can't speak to her, says George, and then that would have been cute to be like George. That's perfect. But it's still a cute scene that she went and got the winter lamb who was standing in Sebastian's spot and named him there. It was still very cute, but I definitely think that Rebecca playing a part in it, and I definitely like the idea that Lily says it right before Rebecca. I like that because it shows how smart Lily is and how she knows the ending. She knows what's going to be because that's what everyone says. And it would be cute. It would be really funny if before that happens, she picks up the lamb and says, my dad never named you, did he? We gotta come up with a name." And all the sheep, we hear, "Mah, mah, mah," and then it cuts to us understanding them, and they're like saying like Destroyer, Winter Lamb, and like they're like coming up with all these names, and they're like, and then they kind of look at Lily, "What do you think his name will be?" And Lily will say George, and then Rebecca will be like, "I like your all's opinion, but I'm going to go with George." Like something cute. But it's okay. I'm not going to mark, and that is why I gave it a 9. No, I honestly,
that was where the full point.
That is where if it just would have been Rebecca naming him, ooh, that's a 10. No, it honestly is a 10 movie. 10 out of 10. Recommend to a friend. I'm gonna buy it. Any other scenes that you're just like, I need to talk about this scene? Well, I know which one I definitely want to talk about with you, especially because he was such a pivotal character, but Sebastian's sacrifice.
I was going to say, Sebastian's sacrifice is probably... That one hits hard.
That one did. Listen to it today.
I called that too. I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, I did. When I saw those...
Willem was in the other room. He was making me food. It was very good food, by the way.
Oh.
He was making me food, and I'm like, in these kinds of movies, somebody dies. Almost always.
Well, someone did.
Well, yes. I mean, like, someone during the events of the meat of the story typically dies.
Yes.
Someone important. And George died, but that's the whole point of the movie.
He's the MacGuffin.
They're trying to figure out who killed George. Who did it? Someone in part of the investigation, somebody important is going to be.
I was
killed.
scared it was going to be Mopple.
I was also scared.
I was really nervous.
Then Sebastian started getting closer to Lily, and they started having conversations, and he was a part of things, and he was the mentor, and he was leading Lily and Mopple through the world of the humans. And I was like, no, it's going to be Sebastian. Sebastian's going to die. And then we get to the dogs chasing Lily and Mopple.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
It's gonna be a Deus Ex Machina. Sebastian's gonna come in and he's gonna sacrifice himself. And then he did, and I was like, very well written, very well done. I saw it coming, but that doesn't mean it was bad.
That doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean that it still didn't punch. Like, again, listening to it today, it was just really hard because, you know, his final words were, you know,
I see George. That was his final.
It was really, and I really appreciate that we didn't get to see what he saw. A part of me was a little disappointed at first, but I really liked it. Left it, and it made us think. I part of me still wishes like a little bit like a something like it shows Lily like kind of zoning out from his point of view, and then we see like George kind of like, you know, because it would just been cute. But with Mopple, I mean, I really was thinking Mopple was going to got. He was going to turn around and stop the dogs, and I'm glad they didn't, but I was going to. I really thought that was going to be where Lily learns that Mopple had been holding everything in, and I already had imagined the scene. You know, he knocks the dogs away because he's still a ram, and even though
he wasn't a fighting ram.
But he was still a ram, and even though Sebastian was a more was a different type of breed of ram that definitely is capable of defending the flock. Mopple ain't too bad either. He's got those short horns, and they bash things. So, but anyway, I thought he was going to do it, and I imagined that his last words were "Don't forget me," and it really was really sad. I was like, oh, I know. He was going to look at Lily and go, "Don't forget me." And then I honestly was thinking Sebastian was going to, you know, help and try to come at the last second. I imagine that Sebastian and Mopple would have stopped the dogs, not Sebastian alone. And that's when I was going to have, if Mopple would have died, I would have had Sebastian kind of explain to Lily, like, you do know that that other sheep died. Like, I think that Sebastian could have easily told Lily the same thing. Like, Mopple holds everything in because he has to. And that's where that question came from, was, you know, Sebastian admitting, I keep everything now because I'm alone. And that's, to me, where I think Sebastian would have learned to accept that he did have a flock. But I really thought that was very sweet that, along with him seeing George, some of his last words to Lily were "our flock," and you're like, So it was very good. I was very shocked, not shocked, but I was still like, that was a heavy scene. Again, PG movie, and sometimes they just hit hard. It was
a very good movie. It was, honestly, it was very well done, and we've said it a couple times already, but I regret not going.
I regret it a lot.
I regret waiting until it was streaming to watch it.
I think we've been talking about this for a good hour, and I'm pretty. Nope. One more final thing I will say: the cutest thing. And I gotta mention to you guys, because you guys weren't there to watch it, whenever I've watched movies with Tim, and when the feelings get real,
he throws pillows.
I throw pillows. I throw pillows across the room.
I had to reload.
You had to reload my pillows. And we each had 3 on each side. Tim doesn't throw pillows. I do. And I was like, Tim, give me more pillows. And immediately, because it was right when it just kept going. You know, Sebastian. Actually, no, it was Sebastian. We learned that Sebastian was a dog fighter. Bam, and then he saves them. Bam, and then Mopple. Bam, and then Mopple admitting that he remembered. Bam, but then the final pillow throw and the final thing for the whole movie was Lily looking out, and lo and behold, the clouds were shaped like Sebastian, and oh Oh boy!
I remember that. Yeah, I remember you throwing a pillow at that.
Yep, and that was my last pillow throw, and it was a very cute ending because the whole time they were saying we turn into clouds, and I knew, and I told you, I called it,
Oh, you did?
and I was like, I think I did say it was going to be Mopple. I was like, Mopple's going to die and turn into a cloud, and I'm really glad I was wrong. But oh boy, 10 out of 10 movie. If you get the chance to go watch it,
It is worth watching.
well, hopefully you
It's
have watched
well
it.
worth watching.
Hopefully you've watched it before you watched this.
If not, you just have the whole thing spoiled for you.
Shame on you.
So,
But honestly, I think you're still gonna enjoy it.
yeah.
Like, and
Unlike a sheep, you can't forget it. But, oh well.
well, I am pretty satisfied with my care, Tim.
I am too. It was very, very good. Very good movie.
I was really happy. I was like, I want to talk about a positive, like a movie that just made us feel good. I love talking about that with Tim every now and then. So, but yeah, before I turn things over to Tim to say goodbye, thank you all for listening. And we hope that you'll check out some of our other, movie discussions, some of our other ideas. And I think next week I want to, especially because July, we have a certain hero. His movie's coming out at the end of the month. I think I want to continue a certain story of mine. So
I've been saying that for a bit.
I know, but I've been writing it down.
Okay.
I've been doing stuff. So that might be coming up here soon. But thanks, guys. Thanks for coming to listen to us. So yeah,
I don't have anything else to add. So at this point, those of you who've been around for a while, you know the drill. Just love each other, be kind, and remember, even the bad times are worth remembering. And until next time, we'll see you later, pitches.
bye. Oh, that's really cute.